I hung my mother-in-law's Christmas letter in the guest room she stays in. So every year, Diane sends out one of those family Christmas letters. You know the type. Cream paper, little holly border, a paragraph on each kid and how blessed she is. My husband Mark grew up getting handed the stack to stuff into envelopes. So this is like a whole tradition in his family. I never thought much about them. They were boring, honestly. Until this past December when I found out I was in one. Here's the thing you need to understand first. Diane has never liked me. Not in a screaming way, in a smiling way. The kind where she'll say, oh, you're so brave to wear that, and then just look at you. 6 years of that. I stopped keeping count. So Mark's sister Katie calls me the week before Christmas, and she's kind of laughing but not really. And she goes, hey, did you read Mom's letter this year? I said no, ours hadn't come yet. And she goes quiet, and then she says, okay, don't take it personal, okay? You know how she is. Which, if you've ever heard those words, you know they mean the exact opposite. The letter shows up 2 days later. I open it at the kitchen counter while the coffee's going. Same cream paper, same holly. And there's a whole paragraph about me. She wrote that Mark had settled. That's the word. Settled. She wrote that she prays he finds his footing again, and that she hopes the marriage teaches him what he's worth. She wrote that I keep a cluttered, tense home, and that she worries about the children we don't even have yet growing up in it. And she mailed that to like 60 people. Aunts, cousins, the neighbors, Mark's old baseball coach. 60 people opened their mail and read that I was the thing that ruined her son. I want to say I did, because that's the normal thing, but I didn't. I just stood there reading it again like it might change. Mark got home and I put it in front of him. He read it and his ears went red, and he said, I'll call her. I said, and say what? He said that she can't do this, that she has to apologize. And I already knew how that call would go. She'd cry. She'd say it was taken out of context. She'd say I was being sensitive, that it was a Christmas letter, for God's sake, and why does everything have to be a fight with me? And Mark would come off the phone worn down and say, look, she didn't mean it the way it sounded, because that's how it always went. So I said, don't call her, I'll handle it. Now, Diane and her husband come stay with us every year the week after Christmas, 4 nights, in our guest room. The room I keep clean, the room I put fresh towels in, the room where I leave a little water glass on the nightstand, because that's the kind of thing you do. So I took her letter and I bought a frame. Nice one, actually. Black wood, real glass. And I hung it on the guest room wall right across from the bed at eye level, so it's the first thing you see when you sit up in the morning and the last thing you see before you turn off the lamp. Mark saw it and just stopped in the doorway. He goes, babe? I said, it's a family keepsake. She worked hard on it. He kind of laughed, then caught himself, then didn't stop me. They arrived the 27th. Diane walks in with her wheelie bag and her big hello, kisses everybody, tells me the house looks lived in, which sure. She goes upstairs to unpack, and I hear it. This little silence from up there. That specific kind of silence. She comes back down maybe 2 minutes later, and her face is doing something it doesn't usually do. She says, real light, sweetheart, that thing in the guest room. Where did you get the frame? I said, Michael's, on sale. I wanted it somewhere everyone could enjoy it. You put so much into your letters. And she says, I think it might be better in a drawer. And I looked right at her, and I said, why? You mailed it to 60 people. I only hung it for one. She didn't answer. She just went back up the stairs. She came down for dinner an hour later and didn't say a word about it. Neither did I. The frame stayed up all 4 nights. Next year's letter came in December, right on schedule. Cream paper, holly border, 3 paragraphs about her garden. Not one word about me.